Hey guys, who remembers this game? Now this is Dragon's Fury for the Megadrive, or the Genesis, depending on where you're from. And unless I'm mistaken, this game is classed as an interactive pinball game. Now, I could be getting that wrong, but the reason it's not just a pinball game is because you don't bash pins and go up ramps for points like normal. In this one you go around the table hitting monsters and killing bad guys, which you obviously don't do on a real table. This game was made by Tengen in 1990, if Wikipedia is anything to go by. And on top of that, depending on where you're from, this game had a few different names too, just to be confusing. To go with Dragon's Fury, the game is also known as Devil Crash and Devil's Crush. Now, I remember when I was a bit younger, this was the one game that me and my parents would play together. It was that one game that let me stay up past my bedtime, and when I was a kid, that was quite a big thing for me back then. There was also the infamous Stage 6, which I will talk about a little bit later. But when I finally beaten that, and I don't think I've ever done it more than a handful of times ever, that was some seriously intense shit the first time. Anyway, let me stop reminiscing, let me tell you about what we have here. Now this is the main table, and the place you will spend most of your time. It's laid out into three sections, a top, middle and bottom. Ultimately we're after points here, so to get the most you want to be at the top part of the table for most of the game. Once you're up here, you can hit a ball around a sort of ramp at the top that you can see, and once it bounces off the head of the guy at the end of the ramp, the ball comes back into the top of the table and you're locked in there. There's three little gem things, or little slime things, that are stopping you going any further. The only way you can get down is holding the flipper up so it rolls underneath, but why would you want to? Now there's loads of points to be had in this top part of the level, but eventually you will mess up. You will end up in the middle of the table. You don't have the same luxury here of getting the hole to the bottom blocked up, and it's notably sort of incredibly difficult to get to the top, unless you have some fluky bounce back up. In the middle of this bit of the table there's a woman's head. I don't have a damn clue who she is, but getting the ball into her head and, well, I think it's scrambling her brain or something. I guess it puts her face through a series of changes until she becomes a full-blown dragon. Now when she's a dragon you can gain direct access to Zone 6 through her mouth. Yeah, this game's a little bit messed up when you think about it. Not nearly the same opportunity to earn points are present here compared to the top. You really want to be at the top for points, and it's even worse when you reach the bottom. You go down either the centre point or the two gutters at the side and it's the end of the ball for you. On the plus down here, if you bash that dragon's head on the side enough, he'll open his mouth for direct access to bonus stage 1, which is dead easy, and because it's easy points. I love how the skull here jeers at you for failing too. What an asshole. Now another thing on those bonus stages. Stages 1 to 4 are all quite achievable with a bit of luck, and they have you smashing a myriad of pots with bats in, skulls, enemies like that, you know, that sort of thing. Stage 5 on the other hand, now that's a truly bastard hard level. I don't think I've ever finished it. Now basically what you have to do is get every circle on the floor illuminated. You do that by hitting an enemy as it's right on top of one. The reason it's so hard is the enemies pop when you hit them, and all it takes is one pop to sort of hit you at a certain angle and you'll go straight down the middle, and yep, better luck next time. Now stage 6, which I mentioned earlier, is also brutal. I've beaten this one before, but it was fluky as hell if I'm being honest. You have to bash this loogie looking thing into submission when it's in this guy's mouth. Bash it in some more and then it leaves the mouth and starts flying around the map. Well, from left to right really. After you've hit it a few times there, it will eventually blow up, and you have to smash the guy's head in whilst he's breathing air straight down the hole in the middle, which can quite easily take your ball with it. Be careful here. Now, although the feat is almost impossible even with the 10 balls to start code, yeah, let me quickly explain this one. There's a code screen for some reason. If you write Technosoft in that, it gives you 10 balls and 2 million starter points. Now writing Lucky Lucky gives you 7 balls, I'm sure there's other codes as well. But anyway, if you reach the score of 999 million, I think it is, you can get access to the Uber Boss and really the end of the game. Considering my average high scores are about 80 million, and that's an exceptionally good run for me, you can appreciate the magnitude of this task. If you're going to try it, I recommend energy pills, a huge supply of coffee and a stress ball. You're going to need all three, in equal measures. Now one thing you'll quickly notice as you play is how catchy the music is. Seriously, I can't even tell you how many hundreds of times I've heard this bit of music and I still wouldn't turn it off or even down. Every level, really, maybe bar a couple of the bonus stages, have great clunky 16-bit music. The main table music is so good, in fact I'll link in the description to the full song if you fancy a listen. Now there was a sequel to this game, also on the Megadrive, called Dragon's Revenge, but sadly after playing that, only as a ROM, but after playing it for a good few hours, I can't say I share the same love for it as I do this game. Something feels like it's missing or rushed, and considering this game is hardly an in-depth, varied game, it's hard to explain why. I can only imagine I'm not the only one who thought this, was I don't see a Dragon's Fury 3 anywhere. Now I really miss pinball games like this. Although I appreciate the more popular photorealistic pinball sims now, I can't really see the appeal. Maybe it's because I'm fortunate enough to live near an arcade and, you know, there's a few real pinball tables there. I can't really see the point in playing it on a console when I can do it just there. I'd much prefer blowing a few quid on a real one. Maybe that's just me. There have been other pinball games like this, most notably Sonic Spinball, and how can I forget the Pokemon Pinball series. These are also great games, but they don't even come close to how this game feels and plays in my opinion. That may very well be because a lot of memories this game has for me. There's a lot of things to learn and remember if you're chasing that high score of that seemingly unreachable end boss. Even if it's just little things like knowing if you hold the right flipper up immediately after you've launched the ball, you'll probably end up in the top of the table if you do that. Or even knowing, you know, if you manage to hit an enemy whilst you're still in the ball chute, you'll get an extra ball there. There were so many extra little things that you had to dig in a little bit deeper to find out. I'd love nothing more than there to be a reimagining of Dragon's Fury, or even a loosely guised sequel, but something tells me I may be waiting a while. I hope this has been a trip down memory lane for you, so thanks for watching.